Hello and welcome to the introduction of Phase 3 and 4 of your Metabolic Balance program. Kudos to you because you've made it through the hardest part. Now, you're moving into Phase 3 where your eating habits continue to develop. You can now start to have fun with your food though. At this point in your progress, it's important that we revisit why this whole program works. So we'll review some of the basics again, and then I'll talk about what to expect in Phase 3 and 4. To start with, we'll review the fundamental principles of metabolic balance and the purpose of each phase. Now, as you move into Phase 3, you'll begin to introduce new foods into your meals. This will be exciting for you because it will give you more flexibility in your diet. However, with this flexibility comes more responsibility to continue to follow the basic principles and guidelines of how to eat. We'll discuss things like making sensible food selections, the importance of treating yourself with treat meals, and most importantly, how to get back on track when you've strayed. Because that's the most important skill that you'll learn in this program. What to do when something goes wrong so that you can keep looking and feeling the way that you do. So let's briefly revisit the fundamental principles of why metabolic balance works. Every person's body is able to produce all the necessary hormones and enzymes it needs for a well-balanced metabolism when it is supplied with all the required building blocks through appropriate nutrition. What that means is when we pay proper attention to what we're eating and when we're eating it, our bodies will naturally lose weight and get healthy. You should never have to diet. The other thing is, every person with a well-balanced metabolism is able to instinctively choose the foods their body needs with the help of their natural inner signals. As your body becomes healthier, you'll find that you're naturally attracted to a variety of new foods. These attractions are driven internally by your body's natural need for the nutrients in that food. If looking at an apple, for example, makes you hungry for it, chances are you need the nutrients from it. If you have no desire to eat it, you probably don't need those nutrients. When people stray far enough from proper eating, these natural attractions get replaced by cravings for junk food and carbohydrates. This quite literally is our society's biggest obesity challenge. Let's review what the objectives are for each phase of your program. Phase 1 was to prepare your body for the changes in your eating, and it also helps you to avoid cravings. Phase 2 is where you adapted to an optimal personalized nutrition. The foods on your plan were chosen by looking at your blood work and your assessment. Nutrients that were missing in your body, were included, and you avoided foods that were inflammatory to your body. This is how your plan was personalized. Another person would need different nutrients and would have a different plan. So this plan was put together just for you. Phase 3 is where you'll begin to add new foods to your program and see how your body reacts. There will be some trial and error because some foods may bring back old symptoms and slow down your progress. During this phase, your metabolism, meaning all the reactions that go on inside to operate your body, will stabilize. And finally, phase 4 is where you've developed the skills to go out and live your life and understand how to eat to stay healthy. You'll be able to go on holidays, go out to restaurants, and eat whatever you want because you'll always know what to do if your body ever moves away from the natural, healthy state that you've achieved. Those of you who have more than 44 pounds to lose will need to take a break from phase 2 and enter into phase 3 temporarily. This is for 1 month only. Here's why. It gives your body the opportunity to catch up to your weight loss. You need to allow your skin a period of time to adapt to your new status quo. You also need a bit of a break from being so strict all the time. After the break, you'll return to phase 2 with your body better equipped to lose more weight, and you'll be more mentally prepared. I should mention that this pause repeats every 44 pounds, so if you have more than 100 pounds to lose, you'll be doing this more than once. Going into phase 3, you'll learn to gradually have less restrictions. You've now lost your extra weight and your well-being will keep improving. After I started this program, I felt health improvements for almost 2 years. This phase helps to stabilize your metabolism. I see it as phase 2 was the diet part of the program, and phase 3 is the repair the body part. Phase 3 is also where you carefully reintroduce foods. You do this by trial and error. You'll now learn to listen to your body's inner signals also. And here's how you reintroduce foods. You only try one food at a time and you eat it for 3 days. During those 3 days, look for old symptoms to come back. For example, if you used to have no energy, does this food that you're introducing make you feel like you have no energy? If so, stop eating it and wait for 4 days before you try the next food. Symptoms can last up to 4 days. In a nutshell, you're now moving away from the safety net that is your plan and learning how to survive in this food jungle. So what is new in phase 3? You can start eating from the extended food list in your plan. This is your phase 3 foods to add. These foods should be okay to add all at once. Once you know those foods are fine and there's been no negative reactions, you can begin reintroducing old favorites that were restricted in phase 2. You can now also have a treat meal once a week. Before this, your treat meals were only for special occasions. By now, you should have started adding physical activity. This will add to your plan by giving you better muscular definition, better cardio ability, and just all-around feel-good endorphins. If you're on a break after a weight loss of 44 pounds and will return to phase 2 after 4 weeks, only do the extended food list and the treat meals. Don't go back to old favorites yet. So let's talk about experimenting with amounts and eyeballing your portions. As you reach your goal weight, you can start to add more food in your lunch portion. You've been on a low-calorie phase, and now it's time to give your body a little more food. This won't cause any weight gain. The easiest way to do this and not accidentally reverse your progress is to start by adding 10 grams of food at your lunch, an extra 5 grams of protein, and an extra 5 grams of vegetables. Do this for 1 week. Pay attention to how full you feel. You don't want to feel too full. Then, the next week, you can do it again. Add 5 grams in your protein, add 5 grams into your vegetables, at lunch again. Keep doing this until you reach a feeling of being comfortably full. Please don't forget to increase your proteins and vegetables equally. If you start eating more vegetables and proteins, you will feel ravenously hungry between meals, and it will increase your insulin secretion. As for your oils, fruits, and breads, keep your original portion. That's fine. In order to make it easy to follow a metabolic balance lifestyle after you've finished your program, it's important you begin to develop a natural understanding of how much food to eat at meals. You'll need to start to learn to eyeball your food amounts naturally. You can't carry a food scale with you forever. And at the same time, once your body is nicely back in balance, the precise amount that you're eating won't be important. A little variation up and down won't matter. Just remember the proportions between proteins and vegetables. Now, once you've brought your proteins up or your portions up, start to let go of the scale. You can always go back to the scale if you need to, but start getting used to not weighing your food. Since they're such a big part of many traditional meals, let's talk a little bit about adding starches. First, you need to learn how to calculate your amount. To make this easy, you're going to use the suggested amount of rye bread on your plan as the basis of this calculation. Each slice of rye bread counts for 10 grams of starch. So if you have 3 slices a day, that's 30 grams. So I experimented with rice, and 30 grams of uncooked brown rice is equal to 3/4 cups of cooked brown rice. Eat this portion at lunch, but don't eat any of the bread that day. You're replacing your bread with the rice. Now, 3/4 cups of rice is a lot, so if you'd rather, you can eat half a cup of rice and still be able to eat one of your slices of bread at one of your other meals. Healthy choices for starches are things like whole grain rice or rice pasta, rolled rye, which is already on your plan, quinoa, russet potato in the jacket. Dr. Funfax says not to overcook it. And sweet potatoes are also a good choice. A little trick is to cook rice ahead of time and leave it in the fridge. Reheated rice is amazing for your good gut bacteria. They love to feed on it. Important considerations. So The most important takeaway is to follow your 8 rules. Drink your water, eat a bite of protein first, have your apple every day. Just follow all the 8 rules and your weight should stay nice and stable. Keep eating whole foods. Stay away from processed foods and drinks, so no pop, no juice. When you're looking for that fizzy drink, soda water works really good for that. If it's a special event and you want flavor, add a small amount of unsweetened juice into the soda. Only do this for special occasions. Again, exercise is a huge part of a healthy lifestyle, so get out and move. You're now ready for treat meals. Treat meal information starts at around page 24 of your plan. So treat meals now can include alcohol and dessert, but be reasonable. Remember that with more flexibility comes more responsibility. So tip 1, you may enjoy a treat meal once a week. As always, start your treat meal with 2 bites of your protein portion. This will slow down the release of insulin. Tip 2, drink water before and after your treat meal, but don't drink it too close after. Give your stomach acid time to digest a little bit first. Putting too much water on your stomach is not a good thing. It dilutes your stomach acids and it makes digestion a little bit more difficult. Number 3, if the meal lasts longer than 1 hour, take a break of at least 15 minutes during which you may only drink water. Then continue your meal starting with 2 bites of protein. How I look at this is before drinking alcohol, you want to put some protein into your stomach. So having at least 2 bites of protein and then having some wine should lower your insulin production. I like the appetizer to be mostly protein actually. Then take a 15-minute break with the water or soda water before starting to do the actual meal. Drink more wine and water with the meal if you wish. So an example would be a shrimp appetizer with wine, then some soda water for about 15 minutes. After the 15 minutes, go to your full meal along with more wine and water. Tip number 4, if you're eating out, take a few nuts or some cheese with you so that you have a protein appetizer on the go. Easy peasy, just stick a little baggie of almonds in your pocket or in your purse. Tip number 5, for the remaining meals that day, don't eat the fruit or the additional starchy food such as bread. So have your protein and vegetables only on those meals. This will lower the amount of calories that you take in that day. Tip number 6, avoid rich, heavy sauces with high carbohydrate side dishes. There are many dishes that you can order in a restaurant that fit your program, and it doesn't always have to be a salad. For example, one of my favorite takeout meals is a A&W lettuce wrap burger with sweet potato fries. Absolutely love this. Another one that we often get here at home is a Lebanese shawarma salad. It's absolutely delicious. It is a salad, but it tastes so different from many of the salads that we would make here. So here we go, tip number 7. If you enjoy chocolate, always go for a minimum of 70% cocoa. Eat only a small amount and slowly savor the smell, texture, and taste. Really enjoy it, guilt-free. Something that might be fun for a dessert is 70% chocolate melted with coconut oil, and then you dip strawberries into it. A dessert my daughter makes here is a little of that melted chocolate at the bottom, a slice of banana on top, and a tiny bit of peanut butter on top of that. Then you cover it with more of the chocolate and put it in the freezer. Now, we only make this on special occasions. Tip number 8, limit your consumption of alcoholic beverages and remember to drink plenty of water alongside any alcohol. I'm so sorry, but you won't get very drunk. So here are some ideas for protein appetizers. Chicken wings, sausages or charcuterie, deviled eggs, hummus, cheese, and shrimp. At our house, we often turn these appetizers into a treat meal. We just add vegetables and fruits to complete the meal. There's no need to have supper as well. This is plenty of food. Having this type of treat meal is a great way to enjoy a glass of wine. Just make sure that you take 2 bites of protein before you drink your wine and drink water or soda water between each glass of wine. So let's talk a little bit about phase 4. We call this the maintenance phase because this is where you develop the skills to maintain what you've achieved permanently. And that's our primary objective, really. It's normal for people to sometimes stray off. In phase 4, you'll learn what to do if that happens. So you now live your normal daily life while continuing to follow the 8 rules. Remember the fundamental principle, you will be able to use your new ability of listening to your inner signals as a nutritional guide. This is really easy. Look at the food in your refrigerator or the foods in your refrigerator and see what looks good to you. Your body will tell you what it needs. It's going to be important that you begin to add variety to your meals also. So consider changing your groceries around every week. When you go or when you shop, buy anything you didn't buy last week. We tend to eat around 15 foods over and over again. You're no longer only following the foods on your original plan. It's important that you begin adding a wide variety of nutrients by having as many different whole foods as you can. Your original plan's food list was designed to add the nutrients your body was missing. Those have now been balanced out, and it's important that you continue to supplement with all the nutrients you need through your diet. A good variety of food will do that. The next couple of slides are very important. You need to know what to do if you've strayed. Let's start with what not to do. Don't feel guilty or criticize yourself. Self-criticism can be damaging. It can lead to emotional issues, which can lead right back into eating concerns. Guilt can also make you gain weight. It sets off all the right chemical reactions in your brain to tell your body to store fat. Instead, think positive thoughts like 5 hours between meals stimulates my fat burning, or I can still do well on my next meal. Go back to drinking your water until the next meal and make that meal a metabolic balanced meal. Then get back to following your 8 rules, and you'll quickly get yourself back on track. Remember that your body's already balanced, so if you stray off a little bit, it won't take very long for you to get back to where you want to be. A good regular habit to adopt is to 2 or 3 times a year go back on phase 2 with oils to reset your metabolism and to strengthen your good and healthy habits. It's a good idea to do this after holiday seasons. It's pretty much impossible to stay on track at those times. We're surrounded by tempting foods, so we might as well just enjoy them carefully. You'll be pleasantly surprised how easy it is to get yourself back. Bruce and I go up north and on long weekends, and we eat pretty much whatever we want. When we get back, we don't feel very well and get back on track with our plan. Within a few days, all is well again. And something else that can help you is to be aware of situations where you know you're going to be exposed to people who eat way differently than you do, especially lots of carbs or desserts. Avoiding tempting situations like this as much as possible will make staying on track much easier. Let's talk about what sorts of warning signs you might get when you've strayed. You might feel a lack of energy, fatigue or exhaustion, a reduced sense of well-being. You might find that your rings or your clothes are getting tighter, and you may not be sleeping well. I would recommend that you set what you're going to call your alarm weight. Your alarm weight is the amount of weight you might have gained when you want your brain to sound the alarm that you need to do something. 5 to 10 pounds might be a good alarm weight, but remember that the higher it is, the harder it will be to get back. My alarm weight is 5 pounds, and when I hit that, it takes about 5 days of eating into a phase 2 style for me to get back on track. Now, I'm not a big person, so 5 pounds to me is plenty. So choose what your alarm number is and post it above your scale. Something else that can be considered if you've strayed off a few times throughout the year and you need a reset, restart your plan beginning with phase 1 and then followed by phase 2 with no oils for 2 weeks. So you're really just restarting your plan. The reason for the no oils for 2 weeks has to do with the way your metabolism works. Basically, your body needs a chance to burn off the old oils that are stored in your cells. According to studies, a contributing factor in weight gain and poor health has to do with having eaten too many of these wrong fats and oils. These are now stored in your cells and can be damaging. There's no point in consuming the good oils until the old is used up and discarded. This is why we don't add oils for 2 weeks. The healthier oils and fats that we then reintroduce are anti-inflammatory, and they help to heal the cells, making it easier for nutrients to flow into the cell and for waste to be eliminated. This step of changing the fats will also make it easier for insulin to do its job and deliver glucose directly to the cells where it's needed. A bonus with doing this is that your taste buds will become more sensitive and you'll enjoy the true taste of foods. In phase 2, many high-fat foods like avocado, fish, eggs, and nuts and seeds are on your list, so there won't be any additional oils necessary while you do this. Eliminating oils should only ever be done once a year. Any other time you restart, just do phase 2 and continue with healthy oils. As far as when to do the no oil reset, you can do it anytime, but I think spring is probably the best time for this because it's when your body wants to cleanse naturally. And it's also when all the cleansing foods start to grow. Things like salad ingredients, rhubarb, and milk thistle, which cleanses the liver. So I think the spring is probably your best bet. In case of an aftermath of a vacation or indulging too often, you may find that without paying attention, you started to gain weight way past your alarm weight. Depending on your feelings of hunger and cravings, 2 different options can be pursued. Option 1, do what we just talked about, the once a year, no oil for 14 days. This is a full restart and will stop your cravings and reset your habits. Option 2, just go back to phase 2 with the oils until your normal weight is reached. This can easily be done multiple times a year and is usually quite helpful after holidays or holiday weekends when you've enjoyed yourself. Remember, it's not about feeling guilty for having enjoyed yourself. It's simply about getting back on track. And now you know how to do that. Watch this PowerPoint as often as you need to really set these concepts in your mind. You originally joined our program to lose weight and feel better. The real value to you is its ability to last you a lifetime. I strongly recommend you adopt and follow this lifestyle, and when you stray, just get right back on. People all realize success in our program at different rates, and it's important that you find your pace and work at changing your health continuously. Something to keep in mind when it comes to changing eating habits is that studies have found it can take up to 2 years to make lasting changes. That's up to 2 years until this new eating lifestyle is a regular part of how you think about, plan, and live your life. At that point, it should all be natural to you. The most important thing is stay positive, stay at it, use your new skills you've learned, and if you need it, reach back out for help. Thank you. Always choose to be happy.